All right, Josh, we're here.
Yeah.
We're here with our jackets.
How does you look good in your jacket?
Hey, thanks a lot, man. You look good
I
too.
can call you Goose or Maverick.
I'm actually Sky King.
Sky King.
That's right. Yeah.
So how do you earn that jacket, or do they just buy it off the streets, or
No, as a matter of fact, you have to earn it.
earn it?
Yes, sir. When we first, as you know, Josh, when we first started in the business, we were all trying to get that $10,000 a month issue paid, $15,000 a month, and not until the company Assura announced the $25,000 mark to earn this jacket, we're all chasing for it, right? I think you were the first one to get it, right?
It was probably one of the first.
One of the first ones, right? Yeah. So I mean, obviously, we have to issue $25,000 of business to earn the jacket,
and that's not easy to do.
No, I mean, obviously, it's not easy. You know, you have to put in the work to be able to earn that or issue that type of business.
Yeah.
But it's possible. Anyone can reach it. I've seen guys come in, new agents, and really dedicate themselves to issue that type of business, and they can do it. You know?
Yeah. What's the fastest you've seen an agent come in and hit the $25,000 jacket?
Yeah, I've seen agents do that in 3 months.
Yeah.
Right. And being able to see that now with everything that's changed and being able to automate everything, all the way we do business now. Yeah, 3 months, these guys are coming in, scoring these big months.
Yeah.
Which is awesome to see, because when we first started, man, we were chasing for 10,000.
Yeah, it wasn't 3 months we took, but we eventually got there and earned this jacket, which is, it's definitely a trophy. You can wear it, and then there's other patches that you can, if you do 25,000. Again, you get other patches. If you do 50,000,
right, you
get a $50,000 patch. If you do 75,000, you get a 75,000 patch.
Right.
So it's just like what is it, like a trophy that you're wearing that you can showcase. Okay, and if you don't know, like let's say if you're not a part of this agency. Usually you don't know what we're wearing, right? So we can explain, this is you get this jacket if you do 25,000 issue paid business,
right?
Not submit business, issue paid business, which in reality that's not easy to do at all. But you have to be on top of your business, place the business between that time frame of 30 days, and be on top of your stuff for it. So it's a good memory to like wear this jacket, and it's a good sign of success. On top of that, there's other patches, like there's top agency, 4 years in a row, and that's telling, right?
Yeah.
So when we meet people, it's like, oh, what's that jacket? I go outside and wear it, and people think I'm an astronaut. And it's kind of funny to explain to them, no, it's not an astronaut.
You're a pilot.
But what do you do? It's a good conversation starter.
Right.
But it's definitely something that.
Yeah, it was definitely a great feeling to be able to earn the jacket. And obviously, I mean, I'm missing a few patches here. I haven't put them on here. But just knowing that, hey, we've achieved the goal. We say, hey, we want to issue 25,000. And when I first issued, I believe that was my first time to issue 25,000. It was rewarding all the way to be able to earn the jacket as a representation of hard work. I made more money, right? I was able to obviously help more families in getting coverage.
Yeah.
Right. And it also gave us the opportunity to be able to just compete a friendly competition, right? Who's going to earn the jacket first?
Yeah.
Who's going to get more patches on it? Obviously you have more patches than me here, but hey, I mean, it's still nice to be able to say, hey, you know what? I was able to work hard and earn a Top Gun jacket.
Yeah. And we have agents that have earned it this year that it takes a while to order it. I got to order it, and then there's 3 weeks and they're just like hounding me like, hey, where's my jacket? Where's my jacket? Because they know they've worked hard for it.
Right.
And it shows like what it's worth.
Yeah.
For it. I mean, and that's something that all of our agency can do. And we do have a boot camp that you can earn, and we can show you exactly how to earn 25,000 in 1 month. I mean, if you're part of my agency, you're going to get a jacket. Maybe you talk to your upline and start the trend, but we have a boot camp that's coming up a 2 or 3 day boot camp that we're going to show you exactly how to make 25,000 issue paid in 3 months or less.
Right.
For it. And because we have a straight line process that, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're bound to hit 25,000.
So how can a new agent come in and say, hey, you know what, I want to be a contender on earning one of these jackets, or how do I start?
So you're gonna have to be recommended by your upline. They're not brand new agents. You have to issue at least 10,000 or more for it, because brand new agents, they need to focus on one thing, is getting the training done.
Right.
Once they come to this advanced boot camp training, they're gonna get all the tools necessary. Okay, you might want to start by making 25,000 and know how to do that, but also we do advanced sales, and also we do annuities. So you're gonna learn all of that in 3 days for that. So you definitely have to be recommended by your upline and do over $10,000, because we want qualified people there, not asking, hey, how do you submit an application?
Right.
And you're getting trained not by some Joe Schmo. You're getting trained by the best.
Right.
And I'm sure you saw the movie Top Gun. They're like, who's going to train me? If we're at the top, at the top of the class,
right? Well,
we're going to train you, because our agency are at the top of the charts. We take over the charts, right?
Right. Exactly.
The top 25.
Yeah.
It's majority of our agents.
Yeah, I remember when I did the boot camp. One of the things that really stood out is just being able to surround myself with a lot of other agents that were in the same situation as I was, just kind of getting started. Since I was recommended by my upline, I was excited because obviously I was putting in the work to be able to earn the opportunity to go to boot camp. I was able to be there and surround myself with other agents, kind of pick their brains and see what they're doing. And at the same time, we were able to get all the knowledge from the upper agents that were actually hitting $25,000, $30,000 of business, which was neat. I really enjoyed being part of the camp because it gave me a lot more knowledge, and it gave me the opportunity to just take that knowledge home and implement it, and then be able to take off.
Yeah, because you were associating yourself with the top people there. And then, we might bring back some fun games that we did from Top Gun or flight school is, you compete against the top people.
Exactly.
And you're handling objections, you're on the phones, who can be the best? And we're getting and squeezing that out of you. And you're just going to leave home, like you said, better for it. And it's out of 3 days for it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So another thing I want to, I don't know if you remember, but when I went to the course here, I sat down with a few other agents that were in the same situation. We all ended up becoming agency owners at one point. So, from being a new agent to being recommended to becoming agency owners,
you're on a straight path.
We were all on that path to be able to, obviously what we're all looking for.
So you're saying if you go to the boot camp, that's where you're bred into, becoming an agency owner, building your business.
Yeah, some of us
from a top producer to an agency owner.
Exactly. So that was that's something that I always keep in mind, and being able to just be thankful that I put in the work to be able to earn that.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. So you've been in the industry for a few years now. Recently had a kid, right? Yeah. Take us through that? Like, you work for yourself. This is your own business. So you didn't have to ask for time off. Take us through that freedom, because that's why people join this industry, is for financial freedom. But what that translates to is money coming in constantly, and you being free to do whatever you want. Right.
So as you may already know, Josh, like my story, I come just taking it back before insurance, right? I used to work for a company. I used to work for a casino. I was an employee. We had a request days off. We had a request holidays off, which you would never get. And you
I want this off. Nope.
No, that's not gonna happen. And you had to work nights and weekends, right? So if we missed work, guess what? We got docked for that.
You're written up.
You got, yes, written up, or if we miss work, or if we request enough days off, you have to have the time, right? So there was a period of my life where I had a boss, and I had someone telling me, hey, you could take days off, you can't take days off, you have the time, you don't have the time.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been calling off a lot, you're on that borderline of just, hey, we're gonna let you go, right? And it was at that time it was it was a horrible feeling, you know, walking around thinking about, man, I deserve more, man, I want more. I don't want to work for someone else. I want to start my own business.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into insurance, right? Being independent. So yes, like you said, you know, I have a daughter. She's almost 2 years old now. Time is flying.
Yeah.
But the beauty of being in this business was that fact that I didn't have to ask for time off when my daughter was going to be born. You know, last year I took a lot of time off. I was able to just be home more. It's not because, you know, some of us want to are having a family and maybe want to work a little bit more, and some of us, hey, you know what? I want to take a step back and I want to enjoy those moments of being able to carry your baby in your arms a little bit more, seeing them crawl for the first time. All that, I will never give it up for anything. And I was able to do that because of this business.
That's amazing. So we wouldn't be able to do that if you were back at the casino.
No, not at all. Man.
Imagine that though. Like, I mean, that you would have lost all those memories, not been able to take a couple days off if your kid was born, and you're able to do that now, and you can't buy back that time. There's not a dime in the world that you can buy back that time if you missed it.
Right.
So you're able to do that here. And pretty much do whatever you want to do, work where you want to do, where you want to work,
right?
And that's an amazing feeling, right? Like
absolutely, right? I mean, because the potential of earning money is there's no limit, right? You can make as much money as you want in a week. You can make as much money as you want in a month, or in a few months, right? So, you know, in my situation, I was able to prepare myself to be able to take that time off.
Did you? So what did you do? Did you do something different because you knew you were going to take time off, or?
Yeah, well, basically, I wanted to make sure that there was obviously enough money in the bank. I wanted to make sure that you know, prior to taking this time off or slowing down or scaling back a little bit, was to make sure that there was enough money in the bank to be able to continue paying my bills and work as much as I wanted to, right? So it's not saying, hey, I took all the time off. What I did was I just basically scaled back a little bit, was able to get home a little earlier, was able to take an extra day or two off during the week, and it gave me the ability to be able to do that, and it was the best feeling ever, you know. Yeah. So yeah, financially, I was able to do that prior to my daughter being born.
Nice.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
And for those of us that, you know, don't have kids, you know, you might not need that, but when you start having a family, you know, you'll see like, wow, you know, it's nice to be able to just say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna be able to work from home. I can, you know, call a few clients while I'm at home and generate some business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the beauty of it, is like you determine your own schedule. Once you have it down, once you've already know the system, because you already know what to do to make money.
Right.
And the certain amount, and predict that, okay, I already know what to do. And, you know, I see you doing that all the time. You're just like, okay, I already know what to do. I know when I need to make money. Is there an on switch for you, or is this like a process? Okay, I know the numbers and activity I need to do to make this. I'm just going to commit to it and then do it. And then the times that you don't is obviously not that. But is there an on and off switch where you're like, okay, I now need to go and hustle a little bit and then take some time off? Yeah,
I think we all have that on and off switch, right? Or that slow down switch. You want to slow it down, scale it back a little bit, because we all need it. I mean, sometimes we need to take a little bit, slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, obviously there's times where, hey, the next few months I'm just gonna go hard, hit it hard, make sure I'm having enough activity, which is obviously getting on the phones, setting enough appointments, seeing enough people. And if you see enough people, you're going to have the opportunity to help more families and generate more business for yourself.
Yeah.
So I do have that on and off switch, you know, which is neat to be able to have that option.
So I mean, you've already done, we already know 25,000 and more. Is there any special, like, I don't know, formula that you would recommend someone to do and stick to it no matter what?
Yeah.
And you'll do that
You know what? Off the top of my head, the first thing that comes up to mind is just making sure to listen to the mentor. You know, because if you're trying to figure things out on your own, if you're trying to just, hey, you know what? I get it. My mentor's trying to help me, but I think I know a better way.
Yeah.
That just never has worked. You know? When I first started in this business, I told myself, I'm gonna fail and I'm gonna learn from all my failures, right? And I'm going to try to learn as much as I can from my mentors, from the other people that are working around me, to be able to succeed. And that's exactly what happened. I was able to, I succeeded because I was coachable. I was listening to my mentor and I wanted to learn more and more. And it allowed me to just be able to scale and learn this business.
So that directed you, listening to a mentor, having a mentor, and direct you and say, okay, do this. I'm going to do everything you tell me. You're going to hit those goals. You know, the credibility, because we talk a lot about mentors, they have to have some sort of credibility.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a mentor that hasn't done 25 or more thousand telling you how to do that. You know, it's like they have to do that and trust and have confidence in them. So I'm glad that we can have mentors like that who've done it and accomplish what we want to accomplish, to tell us, hey, this is how I did it, this is how it works, because I know and it did, and that's why I accomplished that.
Exactly. So you know, just being able to do that, and obviously following the system, which is learning activity, right? The dialing on the phones and setting appointments. If you master the phones, you're gonna be able to set enough appointments, and you're either gonna make sales, or you're gonna have some failures in there that you're gonna learn tremendously, right? Because if you don't fail, how are you gonna learn? I can only tell you so much, right? I can only tell you, Josh, hey, you know what? This is gonna happen. And you're not gonna grasp everything. You're gonna have to go through it, and it's gonna hurt a little bit more while you go through it, but you're gonna learn from it. And you say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna follow up with my clients, because if I don't follow up, they're gonna fall off my books, right?
Well, that's another thing is, like, when you associate yourself with our meetings, our sales meetings, or even our huddles, that are on Zoom, you learn from those other people's mistakes. Hey, they said it and they had a no sale and they handled this situation like this. I know I'm not going to do that. And that's what I took, you know, and ran with it, because I'm like, hey, I'm taking notes. I want to know about everyone's no sales from last week, because I'm new. And I know once that comes up, I know what direction not to go. Yeah. And I'm going to try it my way, or the opposite way. And that's how I think I picked it up so fast, because, you know, you do learn a lot from your own no sales, but you still learn a lot from other people's no sales. Once you run into that, I already knew, and I was trained. I was like, okay, that's what so-and-so ran into. Right. And I'm in the same exact situation, and I'm gonna do it differently, and I had a different outcome, made the sale. Right.
Imagine if you weren't involved in those sales meetings, if you weren't learning from other people's mistakes. Yeah. How much longer would it take? It would have taken
longer. That's why I don't understand when, you know, new agents coming in, or agents that had some success, they don't join the huddles, the trainings that we provide for free. And you know, they don't seem, you know, to feel like they need to be a part of that. Where you have so much knowledge and value out of those calls that you can take to your appointments, that you can take to your clients. Right. You know, so take advantage. I would say take advantage. Right. Take advantage of those calls, the trainings. Be on and be engaged, because if you just listen to them, you can. I mean, if you have ADD, you're looking at the birds. Like, be engaged. Ask the questions. Wait, what did you say again? So what I understand, or what I heard you say, is this. Is that correct?
Is that right? Yeah.
When you're engaged, you learn more. Don't just be on there. Don't be a fly on the wall. But
I mean, we can have our cameras off and we can be pushing business. We can be doing all kinds of watching TV, letting this run in the background, right? But if
watching Instagram,
exactly. So, you know, if you want to learn, and those are the people that actually put in the effort to pay attention, to learn, to interact, to ask questions. Those are the people that you see scale. We see it all the time. I mean, we've been in the business long enough to see those agents that are engaging a little bit more than others. That are finding success a lot faster. Right. And the ones that are not, I mean, they're no longer here. Right?
They're part of the 92% that fail. Right.
Exactly.
So talking about failing, you had everyone had a transition on, sitting in front of clients, kneecap to kneecap in their kitchen tables, to no longer doing that and doing it virtually or Zoom.
Right, man.
And some some agents
due to COVID, we had to make the transition.
Yeah, and thank God for COVID, because that completely changed our philosophy and just skyrocketed our revenue.
Right.
And no one ever would have thought of that. That's what I transitioned myself.
Right.
And even went through the struggles, during COVID, because we weren't seeing people in their homes anymore. It was something new to us. Now we're collecting, critical information, important information, like their socials, bank information, and people weren't, comfortable giving that at first.
Yeah.
So definitely there was some failure, but take us through like your transition, because, once you started to come into this office, you were just doing kneecap to kneecap.
Right.
And you were so used to doing that, which everyone came from that.
Right.
But then you saw in this office, it was 99% everyone on Zoom and phones. You're like, what's going on? I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, take us through that transition. What is it like?
So obviously everybody remembers COVID 2020, learning a system of sitting down with clients, face to face, driving out to clients' houses. I remember driving out to the low desert, Palm Springs, Coachella, and seeing clients in 106 degrees.
It'd take an hour to get out there and an hour
to get out there, an hour to get back, right? Thank God for COVID, because it allowed us to tap into, a different way of doing business. I was struggling with it. I think as much as many other agents were, because that's the only way we knew how to do business, right?
Yeah.
Setting an appointment, driving out to the client's house, educating the clients on the products and what was available. It was all done face to face. And when COVID hit, some people were allowing you to come over to their homes. A lot of people were saying, hey, I don't want you near my home. So you can't come, right? And so, some of the challenges that I had was just being able to communicate all the information over the phone. I felt like it was easier for me to just show the client who I was.
Well, you gain the trust and you have rapport. That's the strength of what we learned.
Right.
It's like, because the clients don't buy the product. They buy you.
Exactly.
If they like you, you present the product. That's you. So when that's taken away and you're not able to do that, it's like, okay, there's a little struggle.
Yeah, that was one of my struggles, right? It's I wasn't able to present myself, right? Once they see me, like, hey, this guy, he's well dressed, he knows what he's talking about. I can feel that trust, right? So it was a little bit more difficult to be able to do that. Even though we all mean good for the client, right? We're trying to educate the client so they can protect their families. So the struggle was being able to convey all that over the phone, and having that process and finding a new process was a struggle. But being able to come into an environment where everyone was doing that. I started to see new guys come in from
babies,
not making any sale, babies, and starting in the COVID year, right? Being able to see Rez and JD and all
right
the
next
other,
to you.
Andy right next to me, and just being able to, how did you do that? How did you pick up a social security number, banking information? All the information that's needed for an application, right? It just blew my mind.
And at one point you asked them, hey, have you been inside the home? And they're like, what? No.
What's that?
Why would you go in the home? So we have agents that never been in the home, and that's all they knew and were trained to do. And that was like surprising to you.
Yeah, it really just blew my mind to be able to see that, because that's not how we did business.
Yeah.
How were you able to pick up all this information? But what we did is we ended up, tweaking a few things on how we did business and how to communicate with the client and how to prepare the client for picking up that information, right? So coming into the office, allowing me to see this in being on the calls and being able to see people do it on the Zoom call, on the trainings, it helped me just open my mind a little more and say, hey, I can do that too.
Yeah.
So once I surrounded myself with all the people that were doing it, and being able to see these guys hit $20,000, $30,000 a month.
Yeah, because they weren't
all
just
over the phone.
They weren't just making a couple sales, right?
They're
earning their jackets over the phone.
Exactly. And just being able to see that, it made me feel good just to see new agents.
Oh yeah.
Come in, don't have to drive. They don't have to drive to any appointments. Just do it all over the phone. Then I said, man, I can do that too. So, I mastered the phones. Obviously, I already knew the process of dialing, setting appointments, all that. All I needed to do was follow adapt to the new system, which was, preparing the client on how to ask for that critical information, because that's where the nerves kind of kick in, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
hey,
they're concerns. You got to understand their concerns. Sometimes they're not objections because, if it's your social, your bank information, that's just like hesitant. That's concern. Why you need it? You prepare the client. Why you need it? The insurance companies need it. I mean, it puts them at ease for that.
Right.
And that's just a little tweak.
Right.
And I remember you coming in, you're like, little tipping, like all these guys are making deals, and I hear them. And I went through it myself. I'm like, I know you're gonna struggle. Give it 2 weeks to struggle, and you will struggle, because it's a little bit different, but it's the same process. Right. Just little tweaks.
Yeah. Didn't you have at one point all the guys in
here? Yeah. So I was just getting to that, like, and I think if it wasn't for, I don't want to take all the credit, but here I'm gonna talk about failing. So COVID happened. No one was seeing anyone in especially in Los Angeles. No one was seeing anyone. No one wanted to let you in, and so it was our first. We had to adopt in the next like week or so. So we had different scripts written for us, and we were using them. And for the first time in my career, I had more no sales than I ever had.
Right.
And it was new to me because
same here. I'm
not 100% closer, but I'm pretty close. So it was my, I took the initiative to say I have two options. I can crawl up in the ball and say, you know what, people are, it's the end of the world. No one's gonna see us. We can't go into people's house. That's it. And a lot of companies did do that. They failed, and they didn't even adapt to virtual or phone sales. And I said, that's not gonna be me, because that's not the person I am. We got these virtual scripts, the phone scripts, and set appointments. I'm already killing it on the phones. The only critique is like, we're gonna see either a phone or a Zoom. What do you prefer? Right. They choose that, and that next 2 weeks, I had back to back 7 no sales. And in this office, I had most of my agents in there because they hadn't ran appointments ever in virtual or Zoom. So they were all in here taking notes. And imagine that, my entire agency seeing me going back to back. Like their leader, their influence just hit, like striking out. And I was like, all right, no, one more. Let's go again. So my 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all sales. Collecting checks, socials, and then issue pay the next day, and they're like, all right,
money in the bank,
let's go. And then they started doing it the same, and I'm glad I took the initiative to step up and do that, and it was vulnerable because I never had that many no sales, but critiquing it every single time was the trick, and adapting to it, that situation. Now people buy homes over the phone, over internet, like they're so used to it that no one will struggle like that anymore. Right. But during that time, and now, instead of seeing two people a night, you can see 5 to 10 people a day and still be at this office right here or at home, seeing your clients and making sales, bringing in your income, and you can see more people instead of being in traffic. Right. If you get if you get no-showed, guess what? You have an hour to book up more appointments. Yeah. Right. So
I don't know if you remember, but when I called you, I'm out in Orange County, right? We're out here in your office here in Glendale. I was out there on my own, and I said, you know what? I heard all the noise you guys were making, and like these guys are killing it all over the phone.
Because at that point, we were the only ones that adapted like fully.
The only ones, yes, right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Josh a call and say, hey, you know what? I want to learn what you guys are doing over there, because you guys are killing it. Yeah. And of course, I could have just stayed out in Orange County and try to connect, via Zoom, which would have helped, right? Because some of us are not close. I still drive, even though I don't drive to clients' homes anymore. I mean, I still drive out here. Now we're in 15 minutes, now we're in 30 minutes, depending on traffic, right? To just be a part of the team.
Well,
right?
that's value because you see value here. And
Absolutely.
That's like every day, even though you're an advanced agent, you still learn every single day, and you're more productive.
Right. Right.
So
some of us don't have the luxury of being a part of an office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either we live out of state or we just live too far, right? I mean, I could have put the excuse, say, hey, the office is too far. I don't want to drive an hour or 15, hour and 30, right? But I see value in being part of the team, being part of the office, being able to learn from the other guys. So that's why I was willing to commit and be able to come into the office and learn these phone sales, right? Yeah. And some people are not. Some people are not willing to take that drive. They're not going to drive to an office or whatnot. And sometimes you just can't, right? But how can you take advantage of that? Just being part of the huddles. Get on the Zoom calls that we have, right? So that way we can learn and be able to learn the process and learn from everyone's failures and things like that.
And it opened up more opportunities because now I thought like I had to stay in California or I had to stay in a certain area because that was the old way of doing business here. Now we have agents nationwide, or we call people and our clients nationwide.
Right.
We call here in California and call people on the East Coast and sell them. And we don't have to drive.
Right.
Versus, back the way, business was done back in the days, you can only drive to your vicinity.
Yeah, Orange County,
Los Angeles, anything.
Now I'm licensed not only in California, Oregon, New Mexico, Florida, Texas. I have clients, throughout the nation.
Yeah.
Before I was, trying to fight for leads in my certain area, my area in Orange County and Los Angeles. Now there's no fighting. There's enough leads for everybody. There's a lot of clients and there's enough leads for everyone. So being able to do business nationwide, it just opened even more and more doors for us.
Not only that, I mean, have you made a sale when you're traveling or on vacation?
Oh yeah.
Like that's the beauty of it.
When we take our boat out to Havasu and just being out in Havasu for a few days.
Didn't you make some sales about the pool?
Yeah.
That's the greatest. Like, where else can you do that? That's your office for the day. You borrow that space, whether it's a pool or the beach, parking lot. I mean, we're helping clients everywhere, and we're getting paid for it. Mm-hmm. It's not a clock in, clock out type of business. Hey, if you schedule an appointment, hey, you can walk out for 30 minutes and run the appointment, and still get paid for it, for it.
So all I can really say is that, hey, you got to be committed. You got to commit to want to get better. If you think you're going to come in a couple days, a week or 2 weeks, that you're just going to just kill it, and you're not willing to learn the process, and there's going to be a time frame, a learning time frame, right? Where it's going to take you a certain amount of time. Now, hey, some guys, they get it down in a month, 2 months, 3 months, and some of us, start learning within a few months.
Yeah.
But if you gotta give yourself the time, because if you don't, you're just gonna come in, you're gonna wash out, and then you're just gonna want to go back to that 9 to 5, clock in, clock out, kind of work.
I mean, because you're right, you're 100%. Like, if you don't commit, don't expect. You can't commit to a part-time or less than part-time commitment and expect full-time income. That just doesn't work. It doesn't even rhyme for it. And I always compare us to doctors, lawyers, because we're making that or more and more. And I always related to, imagine you're in med school and you only want to commit 2 days. And then at home, when you're at home, you'll do 15 minutes of training. Would you let that doctor operate on you? Or would that doctor survive?
I mean,
no. They're not going to pass any med school at all, and you have to take that serious here at first, and then eventually it gets easier, because you're learning a new process. If you have experience in sales, if you don't, it's still a learning curve. But you can cut that learning curve in half, or you can prolong that. So the commitment definitely is the key to becoming successul and making your sales very quickly. For it.
So let's talk about when you work when you're an employee and you have a boss. How long does it take for you to get a raise?
Ooh. If you never ask for one, you'll never get one.
You'll never get one.
But I mean, I don't know. when I was working at the hardware store, you know, I was going through school and playing baseball, and you know, I graduated college, and I went to my boss or HR, I think it was HR, and I was like, hey, I got my degree now. Do I get it? You know, I'm not going to be here much longer, but I have my degree now. You know, so from a private college. I'm walking in there, big old chest. I went straight to her. I'm like, hey, do I get a raise? She's like, oh, yeah, okay, well, I'll put it in. So my next check, she was like, oh, your raise should be on there. 25 cents. I was like, I'm out of here. I think I left that same day. I'm like, what? God 25 damn. Cents?
Right.
No, I'm out of here. You know, and yes, like maybe if you don't ask, you'll never get it.
You'll never get it.
But maybe once a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
How often can we get a raise?
Right away. I mean, in the first quarter, you can get 1 or 2 raises right away.
Yeah.
So that's you know, being in this business and being able to have the opportunity to make as much money as you really want, right? And having the ability to be just, hey, I work hard, I'm gonna earn my raise, and I'm gonna move up on give myself a raise. Just being able
and
to
you
do that.
You already know the field goals.
Yeah.
You already know what the requirements are. When you're a brand new agent, we have the slingshot where you get 3 contract raises in 2 months. If you hit these requirements, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get 15% more of on your contract, and it comes with bonuses.
Yeah.
For brand new agents.
Right. So
Like,
I mean, wow, doesn't get better than that.
Doesn't get
right?
better than that. Like,
if you want to raise, you know, maybe in a year from now, if you want to raise, you know, whenever your boss says, hey, you're gonna get a raise, then hey, maybe getting a job somewhere is the best way.
Yeah.
But if you want to raise next month, if you want to raise in the next 2 months, this is the business to be in.
Exactly. I mean, that's amazing. Like to hear that, because like even mentors or millionaires will tell you, how do you ask for a raise? If your job doesn't give you raises like us, how do you ask for one? Well, what they're telling you is, okay, you go up to your boss or, you know, HR, or probably your boss, and say, if I produce this for the business, or if I hit these goals the next 3 or 6 months, don't you think I deserve a raise? I mean, in the right mind, your boss is like, yeah, if it's producing more revenue for the business, why not? Yes, of course, I'll give you that.
Right.
Same thing with us. Hey, you already know the field goals.
Right.
If you produce this much, you're gonna get a raise, and you're gonna keep going up and up and up.
Yeah. And you know, one thing I love about our company is that there's transparency, right? It's all on the wall there. Say, hey, you want to earn more money? Here are the steps. Do this, and you'll earn more, right? So there's no, hey, do I need to go ask? No, just go ahead and just follow the steps. It's provided for all the agents. Yeah. All this information is clear. It's clear as it can be. Work a little harder, commit more, and
yeah,
you're
if you're
gonna
not
get paid more.
And it's good to be transparent, because if you're confused on your comp plan, how are you gonna get raises? Like, how do you know what to do? You need to know what to do, and it's clear right there. Hey, what you need to accomplish, and you already know the other pieces. You just got to do the work.
Exactly.
You know, no one's gonna give that raise to you for it. So.
That's right.
Yeah, well, it was a good talk.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
Hey, no problem, Josh. It's always good.
Let's do it next time.